Hi! So I'm in Atlanta and I'm here with Mia Mingus in her beautiful home. I'd like to welcome Mia.
Hi!
And we wanted to do a little vlog to let everybody know what we've been talking about for the last day or so, right? And specifically pertaining to the Mythos project and ideas for community building and collaboration and stuff that I can't say on camera. And
Stuff that we don't want the FBI to know about, but they already know.
And then we're going to post it to the internet.
We know my house is a house tap, definitely.
So let's talk about some of the...
No, we haven't even been together for 24 hours, I don't even think. It's been a little bit of time, but we've covered so much. I've been talking a lot about community, what I've been calling community cultivators and what Tanya's been calling community caregivers. And I just love that we are using different words for the same thing. And just the work that folks do to maintain community and to build community and to keep community. And oftentimes I feel like that work is unseen and it's usually unpaid. And especially work that's being done around that outside of the nonprofit industrial complex and outside of people who are getting paid to organize and getting paid to build in that way. And that we were talking about it as oftentimes it's the kind of ground level foundation to all of the other things that seem to get funded, like for leadership development, for outcomes, and for these organizing fights and campaigns to happen or whatever. That beyond underneath that, in order for any of that to happen, is where the community caregivers and cultivators, where their work lies, our work lies, in terms of building connections to people in places where they can come together and build community.
And we talked about collective accountability, building structures for collective accountability and why they're so important, and thinking about how to implement that into all of our work and where we learn those practices, because sometimes we don't learn them in our families and sometimes we don't create spaces for them in our work. So how valuable it is to kind of have that, and then also starting to think about what are the shared values of our movement, even if, you were saying, even if the words aren't necessarily the same words, really understanding what it is that we're working towards on a really, I feel like it's a really intuitive level, and that comes from a process of making space to vision together. That's an ongoing vision.
Yeah. And I love what you've been talking about in terms of why you are doing this tour and what you've learned even on your 4 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just your 4 days so far, and I say just, you've been to 17 cities.
4 days.
But what you've been learning and how that's been adding to the things that you started out thinking about certain things that you were going to ask folks about, that you were centering this work around, this tour around, and how even what you've learned so far from other communities has impacted where you want to go and impacted the questions that you want to ask and the things you want to learn. And I think that's part of what we're talking about, that constant give and take and that constant cycle of visioning, so that we're visioning as we're doing the work, because the work changes the vision as it should. Otherwise, we would just be sitting in a room visioning by ourselves.
Right.
And not talking to other people or actually, engaging with them. The need there is for people to be able to work in tangent and in unison with folks who are doing the work of oftentimes meeting communities' immediate needs, as well as work with folks who are doing the work of creating the options, the alternatives, hopefully, that we're going to have aren't just the really few and small, narrow options that we have now in terms of, we were talking about it in terms of, in relation to violence and the small amount of options that people have when responding to violence right now, currently, and the work that people are doing to create community-based responses to violence that don't involve the state, that hold community and individual resiliency at the center, so that we're responding to violence in ways that don't perpetuate the conditions which allowed for that violence to take place in the first place, and how important it is for those two groups of people to work together, because right now, as we know, our communities are so much under siege that we're not going to get anywhere without the people who are doing the immediate needs work. And we've been eating a lot of cookies and a lot of good food, which has been delicious.
Yeah, because you're like a chef.
No, I'm not. Don't think that.
She is. Yeah, I'm like blown away. And you welcomed me and you fed me, which was awesome. And then I got to see a little bit of Atlanta. In Martin Luther King's birth. Was he born in the house?
Yeah, he was raised. And where are you going next?
I'm gonna go to New York. All right.